We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Pansexual and Panromantic Visibility Day honors individuals embracing attractions beyond gender norms. It will be celebrated worldwide on May 24th.
Ed Weigel's Urban Link will launch an eVTOL air taxi service in South Florida, revolutionizing urban transport.
Queer News Tonight commemorates 20 years of Massachusetts' first legal same-sex marriage when Robert Compton and David Wilson got married.
Marina Anderson, the creator of Fort Lauderdale's Rec Bar Mermaid Show, was fired along with 16 performers, including the famous Mermen. Now their fans are outraged.
Good evening. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ+ daily evening television news broadcasting live and available on demand, available on smart televisions, including Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. It's time to queer up the news for Monday, May 20th, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ+ evening news show. Whatever happens unique in LGBTQ+ news, you will see it and hear it.
Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a non-profit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ+ community. Our mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of our queer culture, the Black community, Latino, lesbians and queer women, trans, students and youth, seniors, HIV/AIDS, healthcare, business, social justice, and faith. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ+ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2024, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ+ experience. Our television news and talk entertainment show support our mission, educate the LGBTQ+ and broader community.
Let's meet tonight's anchor at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Jamaal L. From Miami, he is affectionately known in the community as Porcelain. He is the president of Impulse Group Miami, a holistic wellness instructor through yoga, tarot card readings, sound baths, and more. He's also a sexual wellness advocate, walks sex siren in the ballroom scene with the House of Gorgeous Gucci, board member of the Legacy Builders Consulting Group, part of South Florida's Fit Safe Space team, and the Queer Yoga Club at Miami Life Center. Welcome, Jamaal. What's happening?
Thank you, Dr. Edwards. So last week was amazing. I know you missed it, but Elevate was fun. I know I announced it last week on the show with you. Yeah. I did Fit Safe Space. I put everybody through the yoga torture. I did.
No, it looked great. There was a lot of social media on it, and despite the hot weather this weekend, it looked really fun. It looked really engaging. You guys had people out for it. That was great.
And we did a water balloon fight in 110-degree heat index. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I'm sure it was. Well, I'm glad that you guys did that event. Looking forward to maybe next year hopefully there's no conflict. Let's welcome Dale Stine, a celebrated photographer in the LGBTQ+ community. He is the director of music ministry at the famous Unity on the Bay and a moderator of Miami Gayest, one of South Florida's largest LGBTQ+ Facebook group, which can also be found on IG as Queer List Official. Dale, Celebration of Life for China Sigma is on Wednesday, May 22nd at Twist, South Beach. Tell me, what's happening, Dale?
Well, first of all, hello to everyone. And yes, China, who was affectionately known as China Girl back in the day, was really a South Beach legend and icon. And so she passed from cancer at the age of 50 just a few weeks ago. And so we're doing a big celebration of life at Twist. Kitty Meow will be there. She's been organizing it, mostly Sean Palacios, or AKA Kitty Meow. And will be performing, and also Adora will be performing, and the one and only Erica Norell will be performing. And it'll just be a time to get together and really celebrate her life, because she was very special. She was very beloved, and I was grateful to have photographed her quite a few times.
That's great, Dale.
Nice.
And so it's Wednesday at...
Wednesday from 9 to 11 at Twist.
Oh, great.
That's on 11th in Washington on the
great.
beach.
Well, hope to see you guys there. Next, let's welcome Yvonne Rohrbacher. Yvonne is a 35-year activist in South Florida and was the publisher of one of the first gay yellow pages in the 1990s. She started with a broadcast on the 2000 show on Party 96 Radio with Marky G, Issues Over the Rainbow. Currently, her involvement includes the Women's Fund at Stonewall Museum and Library, the Lesbian Thespians Fundraising and Performance, and now Queer News Tonight. Yvonne, Lesbian Thespians, The Boxes We Keep by Annie Valentino will be running at Art Serve on July 13th and July 20th. Tell me, what's happening?
Yes, it will. Anne Valentino is the winner of a playwriting contest that the Lesbian Thespians conducted last year, and she received a large cash prize for what will now be the world premiere performance of The Boxes We Keep. And I think all of you will recognize a little Shakespearean bent to the play. It's going to be fantastic, and we sell out in no time these days, so be sure and get tickets. Lesbian Thespians on Facebook or lesbianthespians.com.
You heard it here. Get your tickets because they will sell out quick. Now let's welcome Will Haas. He serves as the president of the Bears of South Florida. Ooh. They are the winner of Out South Florida Best Social Group in South Florida. Will is a seasoned bi-coastal real estate professional with experience in the Fort Lauderdale, Wilton Manors, and Naples, Marco Island locations. Will, Bears of South Florida is hosting a pool party at the Solstice at Wilton on June 9th. Tell me, what's happening, Will?
First of all, welcome my brother Bears and our admirers. We are the Bears of South Florida, and I'm the president. Our party is going to be an amazing pool party with lots of fun. We promote body positivity, and all the money we raise at the end of the year, we give out to other LGBT nonprofits. The tickets are going on sale this Sunday. The last pool party sold out in 39 minutes with 200 tickets. So plan ahead to get your tickets and go to bosfl.org.
Get your tickets. This will sell out really quickly. So, Will, you said you're body positive, so all are invited to come to this. Mm-hmm. So little twunks like me can come, right? Yeah,
you can come. You're welcome. It's Bears and their admirers, and it's just a great, warm way to make friends.
That's great. We look forward to it.
And of course, this is tonight's lead anchor, Dr. Edward Summers. He is the executive director of Pride Lines, Miami's LGBTQ community center. He served as a primary therapist and program director at Eye Care Treatment Center in West Palm Beach. He was also the founder and CEO of the New York-based nonprofit, The Thinkubator. Edward, Miami AIDS Memorial Project brings The Grove to O Cinema on May 22nd. Can you tell us what's going on?
Yeah, thank you for this. And it's great to be here, of course, among all of you. So on the 22nd at O Cinema, The Grove is actually a documentary that features and documents the Grove in San Francisco. But equally as important, it focuses on the people's lives that we lost to HIV/AIDS. And so it's going to be a great opportunity to see this documentary about the Grove in San Francisco, but really to honor those who we lost. It is free and open to the public. Dr. Julio Capo, who is often on this show, will be there, and he's part of the Miami AIDS Memorials Project. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be a great event. Pride Lines will be in the house supporting it as well. So we are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast, and here are the bullet points of the queer news for Monday, May 20th, 2024. First, this evening, let's queer up culture. Celebrating Pansexual and Panromantic Visibility Day, May 24th, with spotlight on pansexual celebrities. Prepare for yourself. Prepare for this story, guys. Pansexual and Panromantic Visibility Day, celebrated annually on May 24th, honors individuals who embrace attractions that transcend traditional gender norms. On the occasion of this upcoming day, we have created a list of celebrities who have proudly identified as pansexual, enhancing queer visibility and acceptance. Grammy-nominated musician Janelle Monáe revealed her pansexuality in a 2018 Rolling Stone interview, while Miley Cyrus, the pop star and LGBTQ plus advocate, shared her identity in a 2015 Elle UK interview. Brandon Urie of Panic at the Disco discussed his pansexuality in a 2018 Paper magazine interview. Comedian Wayne Brady came out as pansexual in a People magazine interview, bravely discussing his attraction to men despite societal pressures. Demi Lovato, a non-binary singer and actor, came out as pansexual on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast in 2021. Asia Kate Dillon, known for their role in Billions, has openly discussed their pansexual and non-binary identities since 2017. Other notable pansexual celebrities include Madison Bailey of Outer Banks, JoJo Siwini, Emily Hampshire from Schitt's Creek, and actor Nico Tortorelli, Courtney Act, a RuPaul's Drag Race alum, and Bob the Drag Queen, another Drag Race standout, have also identified as pansexual. Cara D, known for her work in modeling and acting, discussed her pansexuality in a 2020 Variety interview, while actress Tessa Thompson spoke about her sexual fluidity in a 2018 Net-a-Porter interview. These trailblazing figures are crucial in promoting understanding and acceptance of non-binary and fluid sexualities, making Pansexual and Panromantic Visibility Day a significant celebration. Wow. So many people, so many names. Well, listen, I think that this is great, for us. I mean, it's great for our community. I appreciate the fact that so many people are coming out and just celebrating their authentic selves and just being who they are. In the past, if this was like 10 years ago, people would probably be too afraid to say that they're pansexual, right? Let alone bisexual or gay. Mm-hmm. And so this just broadens, people's understanding that there's so many of us out there. We're all essentially the same. We're all humans, right? And we exist everywhere, and we come in all different shapes and forms, and this is one of them. So it's really great to see so many who are just expressing their authentic selves, and I like it.
Yeah, I mean, sexuality is certainly a spectrum. I mean, it's fluid for everyone. I believe fluid for everyone. I can make that statement. I'm saying myself. I believe it's fluid for everyone, whether they acknowledge it or not. Even the straightest straight person they just may not know it. And of course, the more representation, the better.
Even the gayest of gays like me, there are certain
there
are certain women that they just do it. Like, I don't know, the energy just comes, and I'm just like, ooh, especially the ones with that more masculine energy.
And you say,
that's like that pretty boy energy.
You're like, yeah, come over here.
Yeah. Well, I'm so happy to see that list, and I hope that it gets so long that it's ridiculous to try to read it. Just like the difference between today and 20 years ago, a list of openly gay actors and actresses that we know their names would have been maybe 20 or 30 years ago, maybe one person.
Mm-hmm. And that's mostly because they were probably outed.
Right.
More than coming out.
And now the list would be too long for you to read it here of openly gay celebrities. And I had first heard the term pansexual in an informal basis probably 10 years ago, staffing an event, and all of the younger people that were there, a large percentage of them were beginning to identify that way rather than any other word that we use, lesbian, gay man, etc. I was amazed. I had never really heard that word before or met anyone like that. I was amazed at the huge percentage of younger people that were starting to use that term. And I thought, as they grow and they actually have life experiences, I hope they just hang on to that. Right. Mm-hmm. That's how they want to identify, because it keeps their options in life open to, as you mentioned, sometimes, our life and our attractions being fluid.
Yeah, and go ahead, Will.
I think that with, we all live on Facebook or social media, that these are more role models for young kids, young adults, even older adults to say, hey, I identify with that person, because growing up, there was nobody I identified with on TV or the newspaper or anything else. And it gives you feel like I belong, that I'm normal. And it helps so many people by them being so proud of themselves and taking this leap for us.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty significant. Two things here. I think that, the saying you love who you love and who doesn't matter who you love. And I think that this next generation has embraced that, to your point, that they're more open about being pan, right? Because it's a part of society, right? It wasn't like 20 years ago, that wasn't a part of our normal language, right?
Right.
In pop culture and television and media, you didn't talk about being gay 20 years ago, really. You barely talked about it, right? We're just like, coming out the closet back 20 years
Well,
ago.
you may not have, but I did.
Right.
Well,
I was in the closet.
some of us
right?
did, yeah, but
Running from my dad, no joking. But the point is that it's more open now. I think these young people have really listened to the message that who cares who you love who you love, and that's love. Love is love. And so to that point, and then I think the fact that these celebrities, right, can openly come out and talk about this and not be fearful that there will be repercussions behind it, that they will lose contracts, right, and they're just open about it is pretty amazing, right? Because there's often a fear if I come out, right. There will be repercussions. I won't get that next contract. I won't be considered for certain roles. And these people have willingly and openly come out. People won't listen to my music because I am. People have willingly come out. And so that's amazing. And that provides that role model that you can be who you want to be, who you are, right? Not who you want to be, but who you are authentically and be proud of it. And so this is pretty amazing.
Well, next, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. It's not the Jetsons flying car, but electric air taxi is coming to the gayest place on planet Earth. Miami airline executive Ed Wagle is launching a new venture to revolutionize urban transportation, especially in South Florida. Recently, Wagle announced the creation of Urban Link, a South Florida air taxi service using eVTOL, otherwise known as electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. This marks the latest chapter in Wagle's career, which began in the 1980s. Urban Link has ordered 20 electric aircraft from Lilium, a German manufacturer. These aircraft can carry 6 passengers and fly distances of up to 100 miles. The company stated, quote, Urban Link will lead the entry into service and management of advanced air mobility in South Florida and will expand to other markets, including Los Angeles, end quote. The company plans to start the certification process with the FAA and the U.S. Department of Transportation in early 2025, with operations expected to begin by summer of 2026. Urban Link aims to connect key locations across Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. The move comes as the aviation industry increasingly adopts electric aircraft in response to climate concerns. Major airlines are investing in similar technologies. Delta Airlines, in partnership with Joby Aviation, plans city-to-airport services in Los Angeles and New York, while United Airlines is preparing to launch an air taxi service in Chicago next year with eVTOLs from Archer Aviation. In Miami, Ed Wagle tries to replicate the industry advancement for the betterment of Floridians. The all-electric vertical taxis could revolutionize the LGBTQ+ community. For example, the average commute time from Wilton Manors to Miami Beach Pride takes, an hour and 45 minutes-ish. The air taxi will fly point to point at 150 miles an hour and reduce the commute to approximately 10 minutes. Finally, while we won't own the Jetsons flying car, this news is likely going to change our LGBTQ+ world. Well, hallelujah. I mean, we all know what it is to sit on I-95 north or south. So this will, and it's only been a matter of time. Of course, I think that this has been happening, right? I mean, the technology's been around and such. Right. So I think it's pretty amazing. And what Florida, I believe South Florida is really needs the most is some kind of mass transportation because it's very bad, very bad. And I don't know how affordable these eVTOLs are going to be. But it's a great start, and I applaud it.
It definitely is a great start. And listen, sign me up. I live in Fort Lauderdale. I work in Miami. Listen, sign me up for a 10-minute commute. But to your point, Dale, I think that I wonder how expensive this is going to be, right? Especially given the technology, given that it's going to get you there in 10 minutes. It might be unaffordable and unattainable for the regular commuter that goes back and forth between Broward and Miami or West Palm to Miami. And so we do need, I think this raises a question or a discussion around mass transportation and a better mass transportation for the region. So it's not even just Miami-Dade, but it's like South Florida in general. So Miami-Dade, Broward,
in New York,
right.
All those years, it's like so easy to get around.
That's right.
And then you move here and you're
difficult.
like,
I mean, sometimes to get from the beach to Brickell, South Beach to Brickell,
45 minutes.
45 minutes an hour, like depending on the causeway and whether it's backed up or not. You just never know. So something like this is great. But to your point, and I love the fact that you brought it up, affordability is always an issue with new technologies like this.
And I can't help but think maybe they're bringing it here as opposed to other places because here in South Florida, especially in Miami, we have plenty of people that can afford it pretty much no matter how they price it.
Right.
And I was just on a call this morning about Miami tourism where they talked about the prices on Brightline, which was supposed to be such an awesome
It's
thing.
so expensive.
It's amazingly still so expensive, especially if you just want to use it for a commute between counties. It's like $40 a ride.
Yeah, it's very
So-
good. And if you wanted the VIP experience, forget about it.
Well, that's why I'm a student and I take Brightline and I get a lovely 25%.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I just went to Orlando for $40.
Round trip?
Wow.
$80 round trip.
Oh, right. Well, that's still
But
good.
I mean, that was
Still,
great.
That's
Yeah,
what
that's
they're
great.
charging for Fort Lauderdale to Miami right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
insane.
it's
Oh.
It
insane.
is.
It's
But who's going to be
insane.
flying these cars? I mean, there's going to be Uber drivers get 6 months worth of,
Oh.
worth of a class and then driving these cars. You know, are they going to serve cocktails?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Yeah.
And the thought of one day, like in the future, of like buses, actual buses doing the same thing.
Yeah.
That'd be
Because
great.
if you're thinking in the Jetsons mentality, you think,
That's right.
because you've gone from the Flintstones, which was the Jetsons, of course, was
The flying
the
bus?
antithesis to that.
You know,
Right,
there
that's
was it was a prototype, but before the Brightline came, it was like a hover train that was supposed to go up and down the southeast coast of Florida, and it was supposed to like go over the traffic and then stop at certain stations. But I think that was just too expensive for
Yeah, it
the
sounds-
technology.
Well, we can hope and see. So.
Yes. We'll hope that it gets cheap more quickly like the latest TV does, you know.
That's right. What's up
You're up.
next,
You're up,
Yvonne?
Yvonne.
Oh, really? Well, then let's queer up the USA View. 2 decades later, celebrating the landmark case that paved the way for same-sex marriage rights. 2 decades ago this week, in 2004, Mary Bonato, the chief attorney in the landmark case that secured marriage rights for same-sex couples in Massachusetts, celebrated alongside her clients, Robert Compton and David Wilson, as they exchanged vows. Compton and Wilson were among the pioneering couples to tie the knot on that historic day. Following a groundbreaking ruling in November 2003, which marked Massachusetts as the first state to legalize same-sex marriage, a 6-month waiting period ensued. Despite facing legal challenges in the form of 4 lawsuits in just 6 months aimed at blocking such unions, none were able to thwart couples like Compton and Wilson from legally marrying. Bonato, an attorney at GLBTQ Legal Advocates and Defenders, also known as GLAD with 1A, since 1990, admitted to being overcome with emotion at her client's wedding. Tears welled up even before the ceremony began, but the most poignant moment, she recalls, was when the minister pronounced the couple officially married. She emphasized that the state had not provided constitutionally adequate justifications for denying same-sex couples the right to marry, and clarified that the court's role did not extend to addressing the moral questions surrounding same-sex marriage. Bonato noted that despite encountering some resistance, the decision garnered an overwhelmingly positive response. Following Massachusetts' pioneering move in 2003, 36 states and Washington, D.C. subsequently legalized same-sex marriage. The culmination came in June 2015 when the Supreme Court declared remaining state bans on same-sex marriage unconstitutional. And that's especially important here in Florida because as of March 8th, we've tried 3 times that I know of to repeal our Florida version of the DOMA Act, the Defense of Marriage Act, that says that marriage is defined as one man and one woman, and we have failed. This last time, which was just at the end of 2023, the bill never even made it out of committee. So we still have a DOMA on our books here in Florida, believe it or not. And if you were around in 2004 and you were a grown up, I was, and you remember that period of time and how chaotic it was until there was some sort of federal decision, you might even have friends that got married in California and then came back here and found that they couldn't get divorced here.
Right. Right. I think it's especially important what you brought up about Florida because I did not even know that. And what's going on in the country now, the political climate and what,
It's
and with that Supreme Court, it's a very scary time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
especially with all the things that our present governor has put on the table, even though most of it didn't pass or has been struck down by the courts, you can see that that there are people out there that hope that they may be able to enforce that Florida DOMA again someday.
You just never know. And particularly, given the structure of the Supreme Court, the fact that we have an overly conservative Supreme Court, who in the past, conservatives believed in, really not interference, more government. And this Supreme Court, along with our political leaders, don't believe in that. So we just never know what will happen. So it's we need in Florida, I think, particularly to focus on how do we get rid of this DOMA Act, because it's still on our books, and who knows what will happen with the Supreme Court. That will definitely, if the Supreme Court overturns it, then DOMA goes right into effect, right? And so that has so many implications for our community. I think we need to have this as a rallying call for our community as well. Too often, members of our community are a little bit apathetic, and so this should be a rallying call for some members of our community, especially those who are married, right?
Yeah.
Like, stop going to those circuit parties and go vote, right?
Yeah, I'm one of them, and it's definitely unfinished business in our state. Equality Florida reports on it fairly often, and I know that they wish it would get a little further along.
We're engaged, my partner and I, and we want to have a wedding. But we also tell our family at some point, if we need just to hurry up and get married, just so that we're married, that we're, on the books to be married. Yeah. So, it's a shame that we still have to think like this in our age. Mm-hmm. We have all these other movie stars and everything else that are coming out, saying they're pansexual and everything else, and we celebrate that, but we're still fighting, other battles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hopefully things like our Equality Act will protect us despite, if the Supreme Court does overrule this. We should have, theoretically, equal protection underneath the law, right? So hopefully that survives, but it hasn't in the past. Right. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, but we did kind of Debbie Downer the general tone of that, which was this anniversary, the 20 years.
Happy anniversary.
We kind of with the Debbie Downer.
Mr. Thompson and Mr. Wilson.
Just wanted to bring it back to the story.
No, good point, Dale. I mean, we are celebrating 20 years.
We'll Pollyanna over here.
A lot to celebrate. I mean, I you know what? I remember it back then. I was an adult back then, believe it or not. And so, actually, I was working on a master's thesis at that point, and I was working on actually marriage equality. It was for a political science program that I was in, and the mayor of New Paltz in New York was like the first mayor who actually started doing gay weddings, officiating gay weddings.
I remember.
And he was thrown into jail, and so I remember the climate back then. But so we do have a lot to be proud of, and we've come such a long way. 20 years. The fact that we do have this, and that we're able to get married. We're able to, have that protection underneath the law is pretty amazing as well. So thanks for.
Yeah, we were down that road, and I was like, "What is the story about?"
Yeah. But I think to the point though is that we just have to be vigilant, right? Yes, we should always celebrate our wins, but we have to be vigilant given where we're at in our society. We can't rest on our laurels. Given our political climate, and given who is in charge, right? Like we just have to stay vigilant. So let's celebrate while remaining vigilant. Will, what's up next?
Next, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. B-Ocean cancels iconic Mermen Burlesque underwater show. What's going on? In a shocking turn of events, Marina Anderson, the visionary behind the iconic underwater mermaid show at Fort Lauderdale's Rec Bar, along with a pod of 16 mermaids and mermen, has been abruptly fired. The decision has left loyal fans reeling and questioning the future of the beloved spectacular, the entertainment audience for nearly 2 decades. Anderson, who pioneered the mermaid show at Rec Bar in the early 2000s, expressed her shock and disappointment, stating that she and her team were given typical corporate explanation of going in different directions. Despite her willingness to comply with management's requests, including obtaining insurance for the performers, Anderson found her oust from the production she had dedicated her whole life to. The void left Anderson's departure has been swiftly filled by Coral Reef Mermaids, a separate group that began performing Rec Bar in 2022. However, fans of Anderson and her pod have expressed a discontent on social media, with some vowing not to return to the bar until Anderson and her crew are reinstated. One fan said, quote, "You just wrecked the bar by firing the Medusa Serena Marina and her crew." As Anderson and her pod grapples with sudden dismissal questions linger about the future of the mermaid shows. While some mermaids, like Bozad Evan Hora, contemplate alternative venues, even Hora plans to return to Fort Lauderdale. Despite no longer being a part of the show for Anderson, the road ahead is uncertain. Queer News Tonight will miss this unique character of our LGBTQ plus community when you host mermaid shows, long before we even had legal marriage. Well, if you've ever seen the show is spectacular. It's a lot of fun. But I will tell you, I have a fish tank in my house and a little pool, so any merman want to come over? We got
Listen to him planning another bear party.
and the Bears of South Florida having a pool party. That's a big pool, so come on over, guys.
Yeah, that's
I
total
want my
body
mermaids. That's such an iconic thing.
No, it seems a shame, you know. And I haven't seen the show, so tell me a little bit about the show.
It's just a lot of fun. It's like going when you were younger. To Wiki-Wachi, watching the mermaids kind of swim around and have fun, and you have a drink, and it's interesting. It's iconic. It's a campy show, but kind of fun.
Oh, I can't believe I never saw it. I never knew about it. I mean, 20 years.
Same.
20 years, and
And I grew up here.
right.
That's kind of
never
amazing,
heard of
right?
it.
I think
And it
they've
seems
been
like something
doing
you
it
do,
longer than
you're
that.
so,
Wow.
And they're
Just
embracing
with someone
everything.
different. Yes. I want my mermaids.
I'm a mermaid, so I would have definitely. Well, I'm a siren.
Siren, right. It's a little different.
One's in water more than the other.
Yeah. And one's a little bit more dangerous.
But it,
I was just going to ask you if you lure sailors to
Yes,
death.
yes.
Oh,
But
wow.
to treasure. Next, let's queer up travel. Visit Lauderdale brings Two Cellos member Hauser to Seminole Hard Rock on May 31st. Renowned cellist Hauser is set to grace the stage at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino on May 31st, 2024, courtesy of Visit Lauderdale. Hauser promises an unforgettable evening of cello pyrotechnics, blending elegance with rock vigor. He will be in Fort Lauderdale as part of the Hauser Rebel with a Cello tour. This Two Cellos member got popular for his viral rendition of Smooth Criminal. For further information, go to visitlauderdale.com. Visit Lauderdale, everyone under the sun.
As part of our mission to support the LGBTQ plus community, the Happening Out Travel Club offers trips around the world that are fundraisers for nonprofit initiatives and organizations. We invite you to join us for Medellin Pride, departing June 27. Find out more at happeningout.travel/Colombia.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at Happening Out Television Studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m.
We finished tonight's queer news headlines with a segment we call LGBTQ plus 1 minute news.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up students and youth culture. Jackson Cooper explores kindness for children and families with a kid's book about kindness. LGBTQ plus author Jackson Cooper explores the essence of kindness in a kid's book about kindness. While not directly about queerness, Cooper believes it's beneficial for families with LGBTQ plus parents excuse me, and young queer individuals, especially amidst the current political environment. The book, aimed at children 5 and above, offers interactive prompts and a kindness toolkit for meaningful discussions. Well, anything that brings more kindness into the world is very much appreciated and welcomed, and that's what I will say about that.
Yeah.
We need more kindness, absolutely.
From kids and adults, everybody.
Especially our adults in Congress.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up gay culture. World's strongest gay, Rob Kearney, retires victorious. Renowned strongman Rob Kearney, known as the world's strongest gay, has retired after a 15-year career. His final victory at the 2024 World's Strongest Man event in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, highlighted his legacy of breaking barriers for LGBTQ plus individuals. Kearney, sporting his signature rainbow beard, clinched the car walk contest, marking the end of an inspiring journey. He owed this victory to his husband, Joey Kearney, for his support. I love this because as a young little gay, I used to watch the World's Strongman competition. And I actually, well, in 15 years, I was not a young gay anymore. I was a grown man. But but I'm happy to see this, and I'm happy to see, you know, us pushing barriers in places that we usually are not.
So you knew of this guy?
Well, no. 15 years as a little kid, I would watch the World's Strongman, but 15 years, yeah, I was a grown person, so I was watching.
No more watch? Not even when no one was around?
No.
This is another example.
I have moved on to playing with the World's Strongest.
Okay. My God.
Yes.
This is another example of spaces and places where our representation matters so much.
Yes.
To be so openly, to be so out in such a world that is so machismo.
Yeah.
You know, it's major. It's great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We love it. LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up social justice. Downey City Council passes controversial neutral flag policy aimed at tensions. Tensions rose at the recent City Council meeting as Mayor Mario Trujillo and Council Member Claudia Fermento, I'm sorry, I screwed up the name, apologies, clashed over a neutral flag policy in Downey. Despite objections, the council voted 3-2 for its implementation. Mass Resistance, an anti-LGBTQ plus group, pushed the policy. Southern Poverty Law Center has listed Mass Resistance as a hate group for lies and propaganda. The mayor has criticized this move. Just hate.
I don't get it.
But they need the kindness book.
Yeah. I think so, you know.
Yeah, but I don't quite follow the neutral flag. I mean, just it's no flags.
Just no flags of any kind, I believe. It's no gay flags, no trans flags, no non-binary.
But don't you? I mean, but don't we think that it really is aimed though at us and our community and members of our community? Because that's.
Yeah, because I wouldn't think they'd have a problem with Confederate flags there.
Well,
it's us.
I mean, but it's, yeah.
No, it's us, because I also think like we're probably the only community outside of international countries, right? Or the only community that has different types of flags. You know, in this country, we don't, like. There's not other groups that really specifically have flags that they're proud and that they have up on their houses and stuff like that. So it's definitely aimed at us.
Yep. I can't help but wonder if a few of those people are friends with our current governor.
Could be.
Let's have some more kindness. In the meantime, LGBTQ plus 1 minute news, let's queer up entertainment. A new documentary chronicles Cyndi Lauper's rise and activism. It premieres on June 4th. Clad in vintage clothing with a shock of red hair, Cyndi Lauper burst into the 80s music scene, becoming an instant hit with queer audiences. Allison Elwood's new documentary, Let the Canary Sing, chronicles Lauper's rise in music and activism for LGBTQ plus rights and reproductive freedom. The trailer is out now, and the film premieres on Paramount Plus on June 4th. Thank you, Cindy, for your allyship and your friendship and your honesty, and also for really cool songs like True Colors.
We love Cindy Lauper.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah.
1 minute news. Let's queer up the world view. Bi Pride UK announces annual celebration of the Freddie Mercury Alameda. Bi Pride UK announced its 6th annual bisexual pride celebration for August 31st at the University of West London, Ealing campus. The event will feature performances, discussions, panels, food, and shopping booths. Organizers choose this location due to its connection to the Queen singer and bisexual icon Freddie Mercury. The event's timing marks the start of Bi Visibility Month in September. Bi Visibility Week runs September 17th to 23rd, with Bi Visibility Day on the final day, September 23rd. I think this is cool. This is just another celebration of life, and it's like we talk unity and love.
Yeah, no,
And
I love
kindness,
it.
you know.
But did they
exactly.
see that movie about Freddie Mercury where his wife said to him, he said, "I'm bisexual," and she said, "Freddie, you're gay."
That's great. No, Bill, to your point, this is another one. We had the pansexual, awareness day, and then the bisexual whole month, and then the book on kindness. And so I love this.
Some wonderful stories. And
it's great.
anniversary, the celebration of gay marriage for 20 years. So,
The anniversary.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is a happy queer news tonight.
This is an amazing one. Yeah. Lots of celebratory events.
Yeah.
Love it.
That is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Are you, like most of America, part of our very large television audience watching this live LGBTQ plus news broadcast right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV?
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and in sound. So spread the word. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I am your anchor, Dr. Edward Summers, and on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Jamaal L. Starks, Dale Stine, Yvonne Rohrbacher, Will Haas, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ world, we wish you good night.
Bye.